So I'm waiting for people to come on here real quick. See, I want to talk about something that's on my mind, and I've been hearing that about the brawl, and this is not even the way they said it in the media. I believe the media is really, um, they really, they really like overblowing this because what I heard was that the other people was the aggressor, and they supposed to be Russians was the aggressors, and they know it was a jazz festival down there. They know it'd be a group of uh, Black American youths down there, like because we have the jazz festival every year. You know, the jazz festival here is real big. Every I think it's every July. I don't know because I don't go down there. I don't go in them. I don't go over. Uh, I don't go in that area because I don't know. I just don't like downtown Cincinnati. I really don't care too much about Ohio. Really don't care too much about Ohio. So it's okay. You know what I mean? It's getting to me. It's getting worse anyway. But I don't know if they knew that it'd be a whole lot of Black Americans down there, FBAs down there. You know what I mean? I mean they normally. I don't know. Normally the jazz festival is pretty. I mean back in my day, like back in the back in the 80s, 90s, it was real nice. Jazz festival was real nice. Let me tell you, we didn't never had no problems down there at the jazz festival. Never. That's funny. But all of a sudden, there's a problem, and I believe they're trying to start something here in Cincinnati. You know, I believe they're trying to start something in Cincinnati because, like I said, they have the jazz festival every year. Because I live, I mean, I used to live in Cincinnati. I used to live in Cincinnati, Ohio. So they used to have it every year. Real nice, real nice. And but I heard it wasn't bad a concert. It was downtown, but it was still during the jazz festival. So I remember it used to be older crowds one time. They used to have a real nice lineup. They used to have Frankie Beverly and Mays, I believe. Well, and they used to have Luther Vandross used to come every year before he passed away, and Patty LaBelle. It used to be, it's a very big event. Anybody knows about the Jazz Festival? You know, it's a pretty big event, and I don't know what's the problem because they act like Ohio is real racist city. It's not. It's not. I mean, it got its problem. Believe me, got its racial problems, but it's not like that. I mean, not. I mean, in the jazz festival, I'm just saying I mean, it is. Got a problem, but at the jazz festival, you never. I mean, anybody never heard there's problems that they have. You know what I mean? Everybody go down there to have a good time. Even the clear folks had a good time. Down there. So I mean, people are really anybody used to go down there, not just what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Everybody had a good time. That's what I'm saying. All of a sudden now with this brawl, they're making it a big issue, even though they started it. The Russians, whoever really started it, because it always been peaceful. You ain't nobody never heard of no fights or brawls and no 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 any kind of You know what I mean? All of a sudden now, you know, the us Black Americans in Ohio is, I mean, in Cincinnati is dangerous. We a bunch of thugs. You know what I mean? You notice that now they say we thugs, and you know what I mean. But like I said, this is the first year, all because of what's his name, and see, is the Republicans. See, you know, here in this state of Ohio. Now, I gotta be careful. See, I live in Ohio. I don't want them tracing my phone because they, believe me, Ohio, they sneaky. They sneaky. They see this video, I get in trouble, so I'm gonna leave it alone like that. You know what I mean? They do. They do. Believe me. Believe me. They can. They set a. They also set black people up to get in trouble too. They do. I know. I live here. I know. They don't like black folks here. They will make up anything. Like you see that video in North Carolina with the with them clear folks down there in North Carolina. That's how it is in Ohio. Believe me. The same racial tone up here. So I'm gonna be careful. See, I can't get in trouble. They see this video, and I live in a, I live. I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean, but I live real close to that uh, Vice President Vance. Yeah, and is this we're in this town. Believe me, it's very it's something else there. So they're not telling the whole truth anyway. Yeah. So anyway, all I'm saying is yes, we got our problems. They got their problems there in Cincinnati, Ohio. Is a real racist town, and it's all. I mean, also a real racist town. It is. Like I said, Cincinnati always been segregated. It always been. So don't believe everything you hear on TV. And I heard this. Is what I heard. I heard. I'm not gonna say it. Something else, but I don't want to say it. You know what I mean? But all I know is that all of a sudden these Russians, huh? You know what I mean? Which I believe is, I don't know. I believe it have something to do with whatever. Because remember, let me tell you. Remember, it was okay. They had something in March, some altercation in March up here. Remember the Proud Boys? That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what group it was. I think calling the Proud Boys or something. I don't know. Then it was. Then they went to all mostly in Lincoln Heights. So they remember that in March or February. Let me. So they had they had some type of brawl, something. Yeah, or they not brawl, but trying to start something. You know what I mean? And all mostly all historically melanated community. You know. So so what happened is that the police officers and stuff over there, when they had that problem, they didn't do anything in that video. That looked like it was really a setup to me. You know, that one. Y'all go back and look at the video. Y'all see what I'm saying. They didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? They didn't do anything. So it make me want to think like, what's going on? Are they trying to start a some type of civil unrest here right now? You know, and then it be two or three incidents. Like it was a guy that unalive a police officer in Cincinnati also. Remember, it was in May. You know what I mean? Also, now is this. What else is gonna be? What next month? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. So it just feel like it's just too many incidents, and that's why it make me want to believe like, they try to start something here, and then it's vice president from here and all this other stuff. I wonder, you know, what I mean, vice president from here, and Then they got this. They got Dwayne, whatever his name is. I don't know, man. Then they got this one. Now they got this Moreno or whatever saying stuff. They never liked us here, man. You know they call us all kinds of names. They've been doing this. Uh, that's funny. They set it up around the jazz festival. You know what I mean? All and they know it's mostly black folks down there. You know what I mean? And like I said, we never had any problems there. You never see them. You never see jazz festival on the news. Never, never. So this I don't know, man. It's making me feel whatever. I know now when I go to work now here. Oh, when, I don't say nothing to nobody here. I don't, cause the racial tone is getting real ridiculous here. It is. It's getting real ridiculous. You know what I mean? It is, and I'm not gonna say, but it's getting real hostile here. Uh, you can feel it in the air here. Like I said, I used to live in Cincinnati, and I don't even go down there anyway. I don't go down there. I don't go down there. I don't go to no events down there. I don't, cause I already know how these law enforcements are. I already know how these people are. They are real, like real hateful toward toward uh toward us melanated people. They are. I know. I live in Cincinnati. I mean, well, in a way, I still live here. I live outskirts of it, but I know it's always been like this. So what's the you know what I mean? It's always been like this. It's a real segregated city. What do you expect? But I know one thing: we have the jazz festival every year, so all of a sudden it's a problem. All I'm saying is this to any that live in these cities. Then we have an incident down in North Carolina also about these clear folks attacking us melanated Americans. You know what I mean? Well, one man. Then it was a lot of I don't know. I can say it on. I'm gonna say they use rope method, the rope method on. That's all I'm gonna say like that. Was on down south. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I don't like even using the other word on a few few black men and truckers. If y'all truckers, let me tell y'all be careful. As a black man traveling down there in North Carolina, y'all be careful, please. Them sundown towns ain't playing, man. Like I said, this what I believe in my spirit. I believe, like I said, they can't really they can't this was what I believe in my spirit. They can't get rid of us. Like they can't like they've been doing the immigrants right now, taking them back to their countries and stuff like that, which I believe, is wrong. But hey, the way they've been doing it, I think is wrong. Because why you gonna let them in your country during that time? Now something, they got these masks. That's why make me think is this a setup? You know what I mean? Well, why you gonna let them in your country in the first place? Doing the Democrats, and then all of a sudden you want to ship them, you want them back home now and blame. I don't. That's why I don't believe in politics. You know what I mean? I don't believe in politics. Is there something fishy about that? You know, daggone well, you should never let them in your country in the first place, or what it is, you should have let them do the proper process. But they was up to something. But that's another story. But anyway, so now now what they doing now, they're not even want to back in their country, which Yeah, they broke the law, but the way they just done it, the first time, why you didn't do it the right way the first time? I mean, should have never let them in your country. So I think it's both from both parts, but hey, that's just me. And then now they want to restrict traveling and all this stuff. That's what they try to do. They try to restrict traveling. Cause I used to travel all the time. Now, shoot, cause I got a husband. He live in Nigeria, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm like shaking my head. Like I don't know. I'm waiting for my husband to get here, but I don't know. It'd be a problem if I go over there or not. You know what I mean? Well, I can still go over there, but it is something. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. You know, people should learn how to get along here. In the city. But anyway, that's a different story. But like I said, Cincinnati always had issues with that anyway. That's why I don't say anything here. Even I just mind my business here. You know what I mean? They really will put you in your place here. They really don't like us here in the first place, and they segregated us real bad here. So I see I don't see why they make it they blowing it up. You know what I mean? Because normally every jazz festival mostly melanated anyway. My first time, like I said, seeing this, it's really people just go down there to have a good time. So I don't know, man. You know, Ohio keep on being on the news, and yeah, I don't know, man. It's like it's real something else. And then people blowing it up on the media, and that media, let me tell you, that media just liars. You know what I mean? I don't know why they saying that. Here all of a sudden the black people here in Cincinnati is a bunch of thugs and all kinds of stuff, calling us whatever. I don't appreciate that, man. Us black folks work hard. We go to work. We mind our business. Majority of us, because you have a few bad, well, few, yeah, few youths, few youths that want to act up. You want to blame every black person here in Ohio, really? And I'm trying to mind my own business. I'm trying to mind my own business working a lot of hours at my job, minding my business. And you want to call me a thug, really? I don't appreciate what the media is saying about us. I'm not a thug. I work. I'm not on welfare, right? I work. I don't appreciate what the media is saying about us folks in Cincinnati, because not a lot of melanated folks are like that. So they are wrong. I be at work half of my time anyway. So a lot of us, let me tell you, a lot of us melanated folks be at work most of the time. Can't even afford to go to that concert half the time. That's crazy. I'm not no thug and stuff like that. I don't appreciate what Mike DeWine and all them saying about us. I'm tired of it. When you go in their neighborhood, sometimes they be all, like I said, be all segregated and stuff. They look at you sad at. I stayed at home. I don't feel like dealing with that. That's crazy, man. It didn't make it so bad. It got started by some Russians. Crazy, man. And I ain't gonna even say what they do on these jobs. Not only not these jobs are ridiculous. Not I know they said. I know them. I know them. Clear folks said a few things to them black folks. They had a nerve to hit them. What do you expect if you hit young folks? Now they make it a big issue, and they try to start something. They've been trying to start something for the last few months now. That's crazy. You know what? That's why I'm out here minding my business. Is silly. Is yeah. They. hmm, It's both of them wrong. Both of them, both parts. The guy should have never walk up there to hit anybody because that's wrong to hit anybody. But secondly, yeah, the okay, you know, maybe the melanated folks down there should have, what I mean, should have never jumped them in the group. I don't know. I don't know. You know, that was wrong too a little bit, but I'm not gonna say, oh, what I mean, all this stuff and they bunch of thugs and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say all that because if that's the case, there, what about that one in North Carolina? What them clear folks did to what they did to that guy that when they did that to his dump truck? What about that? They didn't call them that, right? But that's funny. We the thugs, right? We this, but and also, what about all these stuff that's going on? Like I said, with these, what I mean, with us, what's going on down south with the hmm. So with them, yeah, with them twins that was found. What happened to that story? In a all in a sundown town, right? You know what I mean? They found him. You know what I mean? And last time I heard, it was some guy in that was a volunteer firefighter. What happened to that story? Now all of a sudden they're gonna sweep it under the rug. That's your media for you, right? or or it was another one. It was this one I ain't never heard. Like it was these twins in Georgia again. No, Mississippi. My bad, Mississippi. I ain't heard much about that either. Melanated twins down there, Mississippi. They found them unalive. By rope method, and that's all I'm gonna say. The rope method. You know what I mean? We already know. So, because I don't like saying another word, I don't want to be flagged. I just say rope method. That's what I'm gonna say. And then the trope method, or I'm just gonna say it like that because I don't want to be flagged. And then and what about okay? It was four of them was like that down south. Okay, four unalive, and then but that's funny though. We're the people that did that. You know what I mean? Them sundown towns, right? Hmm. Why I ain't heard not much. I haven't heard anything yet from them stories. You know what I mean? And then I don't know, man. That's crazy. So it's something else. You know what I mean? But they're not. Just saying, be careful, melanated folks out there. Okay. I won't. I would stop if I was. If I was whatever. Just stop going to them concerts, man. Really, they ain't no good anyway no more. Just stop going to them concerts. I believe they just setups. You know what I mean? Anyway, all them concerts they kind of high price anyway. They go try to mess with melanated folks in the crowd anyway. Cause see, I believe this is what I believe in the name of Yeshua, and this is what I believe. I believe I believe that since they can't ship us melanated Americans out of this country, I'm talking about, you know what I mean? They're gonna do whatever they can to put us in jails. What I say? That's why they setting up them jails. It ain't all for immigrants like people saying. So all of a sudden they go start some type of uh civil unrest. I don't like saying another word, but that's what it is. Civil unrest. They gonna try to, and they gonna try to put how many melanated Americans in jail? Cause see, they can't ship us off, and that's it. That's why I'm keeping. I'm keeping. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm not gonna go nowhere. I don't care. They call me whatever. Now they whatever. Now they hit me. Now let me tell you. Hmm. Well, you know what? I'm a God fearing woman. Let's go call the police on them. The police don't do nothing. Then I know they all for it. There, you know what I mean. And let me tell you, these law enforcement is they a problem. They are. They really is a problem here. Telling you, they got their double standards. I'm not saying all about law. There's some good police officers, but there's some really really bad ones. And hmm, there's some really really bad ones. I don't have nothing against the police because I understand there's a lot of whatever, but also there's a lot of bad ones out here. You know what I mean? There's an organization. It's an organization. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying for all the melanated Americans, y'all better start waking up. You better start waking up. You better, hmm, you know what I mean? Y'all better be careful. That's all I have to say. You gotta be careful out here. They never like us melanated folks. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Be careful when y'all fight and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Now if they pick on you now, that's a different story. You know what I mean? You gotta defend yourself. That's a different story. I'm just saying, but just be careful, especially be careful around sundown towns. There's a lot of missing. You know what I mean? If you're a truck driver, don't even go to the routes. You know what I mean? Don't go there. I don't even go to. I don't do that. Even though I don't do that. I just don't. There's some places I just don't go, man. That's all I gotta say. And I just don't mess with. And I know a few places that with if melanated Americans go, they be missing. You know what I mean? And keep on seeing them on the news and stuff. I don't know why y'all continue to go to them places. I saw one in Indiana about a brawl up there, and I live close to that place, and I know better not to even to go there. My father told me a long time ago. He told me all the sundown towns around this area, Indiana, and I never went to them places. All of a sudden now, it's I never went to them places. I always went to the mixed neighborhoods or the black neighborhoods, or I avoid the mostly clear towns because I already know how to get down. My father told me a long time ago to stay out of them towns, and that's what I did. Cause I don't go to none of them towns, and I live real close to Indiana. But even though I don't go out there that much, I don't go out there that much. And West Virginia, well, I pass West Virginia a lot when I travel, and I just never stop. I never stop in West Virginia. I just don't, what I mean. Virginia. I used to live in Virginia, so there was a lot of sundown towns there too, but not. I don't know, not too much. I mean, around Virginia, but I used to live in close to Washington D.C. So it wasn't that bad, you know what I mean? Because at the time when I lived there, it was mostly melanated Americans there. So but outside of Virginia, you know what I mean? So it's like I said, just a lot of towns I just won't go to. I prefer like being in a mostly mixed neighborhood, like like it's a you know what I mean, or mostly. I really don't, and I really don't hardly go to or I don't know, like these mostly melanated neighborhoods. They just as I stay out of there, like Atlanta. No, mm-mm. It got worse down there. All them they be on the news all the time. You know what I mean? And I used to go down there all the time, and I just stay away from there too. Um, if it's a lot of melanated folks, I don't go. I don't go either. I don't go. There's too many pew pews. You know what I mean? Pew pewing all the time. So I just keep, like I said, I just keep in my house. Luckily, I live in a pretty quiet neighborhood. Luckily, yeah, I'm not saying now as a whole neighborhood. I know my street is pretty good, but I don't even hardly go out in my neighborhood where I live at. So man, I don't got time for the drama. I gotta work anyway. You know, but you know what I mean. But I already know who was the instigators, and they blowing it up. You know what I mean? That's something else. And like I said, Cincinnati been staying on the news for a minute about these racial incidents, huh? You know what I mean? So hmm, I know one thing, they ain't gonna get no reaction from me because I'm gonna ignore the whole thing. I already know the how these melanated people are out here. They just as worse, uh, in a worse whatever too. So I don't trust them either. So you know what I mean? It's too much pew pewing all the time, and in the neighborhoods too. Too many pew pews. You know what I mean? So I'm not on either side. You know what I mean? Because I don't trust nobody. You ain't supposed to. So, but anyway, now let me get off the gear. But all I'm saying is this: that all of a sudden now the jazz festival, is a problem. And like I said, been having that jazz festival music fest for a long time. But that's funny. Every time now they have now it's a problem. You know what I mean? Now it's a problem when we want to have a good time. They don't want us. I guess they don't want us to have a good time anymore. Keep on saying this. Look, y'all. Look, melanated Americans. Look, jeez, this stop. They this. Uh, I'm keep on telling y'all better stop because, like I said, they just want to put us in prison. You know what I mean? They just want to put us all in prison. Better stop and wake up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know why y'all want to go to these concerts and make these people rich anyway. You know what I mean? Or always want to act whatever. Then y'all go to jail. Then y'all lose everything. Y'all lose everything over a little fight. Y'all lose y'all house and homes and stuff being in jail because somebody call y'all names. Look, they've been calling us that. They've been calling us that. They've been calling us the N word and the you know they've been calling us that. And now in the I mean, they've been calling us that. So why? That's what I'm saying. Why I always react to that? Why I always react to that? You know what I mean? Like sometimes we have to look at ourselves and So just be aware of what's going on. I mean, stop overreacting because somebody call y'all this and that. Especially if y'all adults. Come on, I would have just walked away. I would have just walked away. Ain't no way in the world they would set me up like that, knowing how these officers are like, knowing how the city is, knowing how this whole system is. You know what I mean? Here in America, you know, this is what they want. They want to see that so they can declare their martial law, or whatever. And I can't. I just want to. I'm tired. Just want to go to work, keep to my business. I don't want to start nothing. You know what I mean? They can call me whatever they want. I can't whatever. I just go record them and this you know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna do. So they can start whatever. They've been mistreating us. So, all of a sudden, they mistreating us and all this stuff. But yeah, that fight to me it should have been avoided. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, I don't know why you know what I mean, all the big news coverage, because it's just I don't know. But that's my intake of it and I have to go. So you have a nice day.